looked like the message for today was this team's got to get better.
Absolutely, we have to get better. I mean, it's look, it's a long season, and we're in conference play right now, and I think we're still in that period of time where we don't have classes. These guys, most of the time during the year, they're student athletes. You know, for this 3-4 week period, or however long the break is, we're athletes. We don't have to worry about the student part right now until next Monday when classes start. So we've got to use this as a time to get better. We're trying to do that.
Is this team welcoming the challenge of having to get better in such a tough conference?
I think they are.
Yeah,
I think they understand. We got a veteran group for the most part. These guys have been around, so they know. And one thing I like about this team is they're pretty self-aware. They know when they get the job done. They know when they're not getting the job done. They're taking ownership in that. And but we just have to fine-tune some things, and we have to understand that in league play, especially in our league this year, the Pac-12, it's a dog-eat-dog. I know it's a cliche, and everybody says, you know, beat each other up, but it literally, I mean, look at UCLA, who is a top 25 team, top 25 talent. They're 0-2 in our league. Utah's a top 25 team with top 25 talent. They're 0-2 in our league. I mean, just goes to show you if you're not ready to play. I mean, and Utah's going to come in here like a wounded animal on the side of the road, and they haven't been shot 6 times. They've been shot once or twice. So they got a lot of life in them, and they're a little angry, mad right now, and we got to be ready to handle it.
They'll certainly be motivated. Are you concerned about your team matching their motivation?
You know, I'm concerned about us setting the tone every single night we step on the floor. So it doesn't matter who we're playing, doesn't matter when we're playing, doesn't matter where we're playing. I'm always concerned with us. Now, for the most part, other than the Cal game this season, what are we, 12-3? We've played 15 games. In 14 of those, we've answered the bell and competed. In one of those against Cal, we didn't, I don't think. I'm not saying we laid an egg, but we didn't compete the way we're capable of competing that night. Now, Cal had a lot to do with it. They were good, and they deserved to win. But, 14 out of 15 times I've been pretty pleased with this team. So I think we'll be ready.
That first weekend in Pac-12 play kind of emphasize how tough this league is.
No question. Absolutely. Yeah.
Does it get their attention?
Yeah, I hope it does. It got my attention. And, I've known it because we recruit against these guys. I know who these guys have signed over the last 2 or 3 years. I know who we've signed. We got a good team, but we're playing against good teams every night. So I hope it got their attention. And I think, guys like Josh and Wes, they know, they've been around. It's important that they are messaging to their teammates the importance of being ready, because against Cal, like I said, we didn't answer the bell. I'm not saying we laid down, we didn't lay over, we didn't quit, but we didn't answer the bell and compete like we're capable.
Home teams were 7-3 in that opening weekend in the Pac-12. You talked about holding serve at the point. Does that make doubly important to emphasize that point?
Darn right. You've got 9 home games and 9 road games, and you better hold serve at home. Otherwise, you better figure out how to be a really good road team. And I think, we've had 3 road wins this year, with Auburn, Colorado State, and Stanford. So I know we're capable of winning on the road. Doesn't make it any easier, but we're capable. But we've got to make sure that we hold serve at home, and it starts Friday night against Utah. And so the sense of urgency is there. And in this early in league play, everybody still thinks they have a chance. I mean, Utah's lost 2 games. They still got a chance to win this league. So does UCLA. So do we. So does everybody. So we got to just understand that every opportunity is important.
Coach, you mentioned in passing after the SMU game that if turnovers continued to be an issue, that you'd think about some changes. Dom still seems to be struggling since then. Thomas seems to be forcing the issue. Is it something you've given any further consideration?
No, I judge these guys over the 15 games that we've played, and Dom struggled the last couple of games. There's no doubt about that. He's capable of playing better. Thomas has played well from his assist turnover ratio standpoint. He continues to get better, so I've got confidence in those guys. Xavier Talton, I thought, is really playing like a senior and giving us good minutes off the bench. So, that backcourt play. And our wings have got, Josh Fortune and Trayshawn Fletcher and George King. Those 6 guys, are really going to determine the success of this team. Josh Scott and Wesley Gordon, and I think Torrey Miller, when he's healthy and in there, have proven that they're pretty consistent and pretty rock solid. Not that they're great every night, not that they're perfect players, but defensively especially, those guys give us a presence. And now the perimeter guys, it's incumbent upon them to make sure that they play consistent basketball. Understanding that, look, everybody may not play well on a certain night. We're going to have to figure that as coaches. You know, who's playing well, who's not playing well. You know, Dom and Josh Fortune weren't playing real well against Stanford, so down the stretch they weren't playing a lot. You know, that's the decision we have to make as coaches. If they're consistent, it makes those decisions a lot easier and a lot more simple. But when they're not consistent, we have to make decisions, and it's not about who starts, it's about who finishes, and that's going to be determined based on how they're playing that particular night.
Will you remind your team of the fact that this team beat you by 25 points on this court last year?
I hadn't thought about that. I'm trying not to think. Yeah, I really haven't until you brought it up. Now that you brought it up, I might. But
you're welcome.
To be honest, yeah, man, thank you. But to be honest with you, I mean, they said something in the huddle. You know, I think our players remember that. But to be honest, every year is a new year. Every game's a new game. I don't really get a revenge factor. I think it's for suckers. You know, to me, it's about this opportunity and this year and this team. Because last year's team was a totally different team. But, you know, if it'll help motivate our guys, I'll use it.
Will it be a little different facing Utah without DeLon Wright?
Yes. They're still good now. Yeah. They're still very good. But I think DeLon Wright was special. I mean, in a lot of ways. He impacted the game as much on defense and getting in passing lanes. And he made, you know, you look at a guy like Brandon Taylor. Brandon Taylor's a good player. I got a lot of respect for him. DeLon, his job was a lot easier with DeLon right there. And he's trying to play a little bit more point guard this year. And DeLon had the ball in his hand. So they're a different team, but they're still a very good team. And they're very, you know, we got a lot of depth. A lot of guys that can hurt you from a lot of different spots. A lot of good new players. The bottom kid has come in and really, you look at his numbers, the way he's shooting the ball, very efficient. So Utah's still I think they're a top 25 caliber team. I think we're a top 25 caliber team, so that's why I think it'll be a hell of a game.
Coach, have you had a chance to sit down with XJ yet?
You know, we talked a little bit. We're going to visit a little bit tomorrow. I still don't have any news definitively in terms of what he's going to do or not going to do, but we're getting closer. So had a chance to talk with his father today and on the phone, and you know, we'll visit over the next couple of days, and we'll see where he's at mentally and physically, but I don't have any right now.
Seems like he's doing more out here.
Yeah, as long as it's not live, and yeah, he's doing some post work before practice, some ball handling work, some shooting work. He got on the scale today, so we got to cut back on the training table a little bit.
Torrey Miller House.
He's coming. It's under the bump. He bumped his head, so it takes a while to get back from bumped heads now.
Would you rather face a Utah team coming in here on a roll or a team that's coming in here off a couple losses? Does either way make it more dangerous?
You know, look, there's either way you're like, oh man, we got our challenge cut out for us. So I don't think it matters whether they've won 5 in a row or lost 5 in a row, because I know they're well coached. They got good talent. Jakob Poeltl is I think going to be a lottery pick from what everybody says. I mean, he's playing. He's much improved from last year, physically and skill-wise. He's a legitimate pro.
The matchup between him and Josh kind of worth the price of admission on Friday night.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. There's no question, and so it's going to be a good one. Yeah, Josh knows what is in front of him, and yeah, you know, they played against each other last year, but yeah, it's going to be a heck of a game. We're going to need a great performance by not just Josh, but our whole team. We're gonna have to play well on Friday night, because Utah's not going to come in here and lay an egg. They're not going to come in here and beat themselves. We're going to have to beat them.
Coach, it looked like with Torrey being out the other night, it might have been an opportunity for Kenan to get some minutes. Is he still not quite there?
Close. You know, he's nursing a blister. He's a little gimpy right now, but yeah, I have not lost faith in Kenan any way, shape, or form. But I think it is a time where the other night where, you know, we went small and we played a little bit of zone, but we'll see. You know, season's a long season, and those are decisions you got to make.
Coach, was Sunday night's game perhaps indicative of the defense improving?
I hope so. You know, without a doubt. I mean, if you take anything positive out of Sunday night's game, the fact that we rebounded at a high level, plus 14 on the boards, and we held them to 31%. And I've said it many times. That's what this program's based on. It's try to grind out a win nights when the offense isn't going. And we were good offensively in the first half. Second half, we were atrocious. But we watched film today. We hopefully learned from it. And but yeah, without our defense, without our rebounding, we don't win on Sunday night. So for that, I'm really proud of our guys.
Thanks, Coach.